The legendary Captain Bill Wichrowski from Deadliest Catch has weathered countless storms throughout his illustrious career. Known to fans worldwide as Wild Bill, his commanding presence has made him one of the most recognizable personalities on the hit reality show. However, recently, Wild Bill encountered a challenge unlike any he had faced before. What unfolded was a powerful display of his inner strength as he confronted one of life's toughest trials with the same fearless resolve that had made him an icon on the Bering Sea. But what exactly happened to Wild Bill might surprise you. Before we get into that, let's take a look back at Bill Wichrowski's life. Bill Wichrowski's rise to Deadliest Catch fame started long before he became a household name. Born with saltwater in his veins, Wild Bill began his journey on the treacherous waters of the Bering Sea decades ago. Known for his no-nonsense attitude and incredible seamanship, he quickly earned the respect of his peers and the nickname that would follow him for life. What set Bill apart wasn't just his ability to command a vessel through storm-lashed seas, it was his personality and relentless drive. Tough, no-nonsense, and unwavering in his dedication, Bill was the perfect candidate when the producers of Deadliest Catch were looking for captains who embodied the spirit of this dangerous profession. Wild Bill joined Deadliest Catch in Season 6, and his entrance was anything but quiet. With his distinctive white beard, piercing eyes, and commanding presence, viewers immediately understood why he'd earned the wild part of his nickname. His first vessel on the show, the Kodiak, became instantly recognizable, and viewers were drawn to his straight-talking approach and deep respect for the sea. What many don't know is just how hard Bill worked to reach that point. He began his career as a greenhorn, the lowest-ranking position on a crab boat, and spent years grinding through brutal conditions, long hours, and dangerous hauls before finally earning the title of captain. That perseverance would serve him well both on the water and in the personal challenges to come. As the seasons progressed, fans watched Bill evolve. He transitioned to other vessels, ultimately becoming captain of the Summer Bay. Though his leadership grew more nuanced over time, he never lost the raw, commanding presence that defined Wild Bill. His relationship with his crew, especially with his son Zach, who joined him at sea, gave fans a more personal glimpse into the man behind the legend. Despite his growing fame, Bill remained a fisherman, someone who respected the power of the ocean. But the greatest test of his strength and character would eventually come far from the deck of any ship. The first signs that something was wrong with Bill Wichrowski began during the filming of Deadliest Catch Season 19. Sharp-eyed viewers noticed subtle changes in Wild Bill's energy levels and physical appearance. The captain, who once moved across the deck with the vigor of someone half his age, now stepped more cautiously. His movements were slower, and every so often, a flicker of pain would cross his withered face. What happened during that season's filming was largely kept under wraps. Bill, who never complained or drew attention to weakness, brushed off concerns from crew members and producers alike, saying, "It's just age catching up," with a dismissive wave. But those who knew him best could tell something wasn't right. During one particularly rough day at sea, first mate Nick Mavar found Bill sitting alone in the wheelhouse, uncharacteristically quiet. "You doing okay, Cap?" Nick asked. Bill gave a small nod, but his pale complexion said otherwise. Behind the scenes, the production crew exchanged uneasy looks. The ever-vocal, larger-than-life captain just wasn't himself, and everyone could feel it. What viewers didn't see was that Bill had been feeling drained for months. Persistent fatigue, unexplained aches, and other symptoms had begun to take hold. Like many in his profession and age group, he chalked it up to getting older and the physical toll of decades in one of the world's harshest working environments. As filming continued, Bill had good days when his booming voice filled the deck and when he laughed and pushed his crew to go further. But there were also the off days, where every step seemed harder and every word more measured. Those closest to him grew increasingly concerned. During a quiet moment between runs, his son Zach finally voiced what everyone had been thinking. "Have you been to see a doctor?" he asked, the weight of worry heavy in his tone. Bill paused before offering a reluctant, "I'll check it out when we get back to port." It was the first real acknowledgement that something might truly be wrong. What happened next changed everything for Bill Wichrowski and everyone who cared about him. The cameras were rolling during the Season 19 finale when Bill Wichrowski finally received the news that would rock his world and shock Deadliest Catch fans everywhere. After multiple tests and consultations with specialists, the diagnosis came back: prostate cancer. As the doctor explained the situation, Bill sat uncharacteristically quiet, absorbing the weight of the words. For a man who had faced rogue waves in some of the most dangerous waters on Earth, this invisible threat felt different, more personal, more frightening. "So what's next?" he asked the doctor, his voice gruff but steady. "What do we need to do to beat this thing?" That single question revealed everything about Wild Bill's character. He wasn't asking if he could beat cancer, he was asking how he would beat it. When the doctor recommended that he begin aggressive treatment immediately, many might have expected Bill to step away from fishing and focus solely on his health. But they underestimated just how deep fishing ran in his veins. It wasn't just a career, it was his identity. What happened next surprised even those who knew him best. "I'm not stopping," Bill declared firmly. "I'll do whatever treatments I need to do, but I'm not giving up my boat or my crew." The doctor looked concerned but not entirely surprised. As Bill left the doctor's office that day, the weight of his diagnosis was heavy on his shoulders. What happened to Bill Wichrowski wasn't just a personal health crisis, it became a powerful story of courage that would inspire countless others facing similar battles. When season 20 of Deadliest Catch began filming, Bill Wichrowski made an unprecedented decision. Unlike many public figures who prefer to keep their health struggles private, he invited the cameras to document his cancer journey. What happened behind the scenes during this season showed a different side of Wild Bill, still tough, still determined, but now fighting a very different kind of battle. Cancer treatment is no easy road, and Bill's was no exception. Between the relentless demands of captaining the Summer Bay and undergoing aggressive therapy, the toll was visible. He dropped weight, battled fatigue, and faced a barrage of physical side effects. But what surprised many was how fiercely his spirit remained intact. "The fact that I allowed the news to be broadcast, I heard from a million people, 'Oh, I hope you're alright.'" Bill explained during a season 20 preview clip that they were telling him he would experience all these symptoms that would stop him. He responded, saying there was no way that would happen. What occurred during filming that season were moments of raw honesty rarely seen on reality television. There were days when Bill visibly struggled, as the combination of rough seas and cancer treatments left him exhausted. But there were also moments of triumph, such as hauling in a good catch, sharing laughs with his crew, and proving the doctors wrong about what he could endure. The production crew noticed how Bill would sometimes disappear into his cabin between takes, only to emerge minutes later with renewed determination etched on his face. There were no complaints, no drama, just the quiet resolve of a man refusing to be defined by his diagnosis. After a particularly rough day at sea when Bill appeared especially drained, one concerned crew member whispered, "We're losing him." It was a fear that rippled through the boat. Could the man who had always seemed indestructible finally be reaching his limit? Yet, time and again, Bill pushed through, rallying with the same fire that had made him a legend on Deadliest Catch. Away from the cameras, Bill faced even greater challenges. He underwent treatments that would have sidelined many people entirely, but he endured them with his usual grit. Each completed treatment became another step toward recovery, another round won in his fight against cancer. During this time, messages of support poured in from fans around the world. Letters, emails, and social media posts expressed concern and admiration for his courage. Bill, typically uncomfortable with sentimentality, found himself moved by this outpouring of goodwill. What happened to him had touched people in ways he hadn't anticipated. "I was hoping that the fact that I kept going would show people that if you have this, you can keep working," Bill said. "You can keep your life moving. I wasn't going to stop unless I had to." Bill's cancer diagnosis didn't just shake his own crew, it sent a wave of emotion through the entire Deadliest Catch fleet. Rivals, who once battled fiercely for crab quotas, found themselves standing together, bound by something stronger than competition, loyalty and shared hardship. Hard times have a way of revealing what truly matters, and Bill's illness brought those emotions to the surface. Old rivalries faded, and something stronger took their place, a deep bond forged from years of facing the harsh challenges of the Bering Sea together. As word of Bill's condition spread, responses from the fleet were swift and sincere. Sig Hansen, captain of Northwestern and a longtime adversary of Bill's, didn't hide his reaction. "That tough old bastard," he said, his words gruff but filled with genuine concern. "If anyone can beat this, it's Wild Bill." Even in the middle of peak crab season, with time equaling money, captains checked in regularly. Radio chatter, usually dominated by fishing strategies and weather warnings, shifted in tone. "How are you holding up, Bill?" became a regular sign-off. Jake Anderson, no stranger to personal loss, took a quiet but steady role in supporting Bill. Having endured the deaths of both his father and sister, Jake understood the silent weight of grief. Whenever the Summer Bay and Saga docked in the same port, Jake would make time to sit with Bill. No pep talks, no pity, just the steady presence of a friend who knew the terrain of pain. Josh Harris, captain of the Cornelia Marie, knew the difficulty of navigating illness in the public eye, having lived through it with his father, Phil Harris. He shared that unique perspective with Bill. "The cameras make it harder and easier at the same time," Josh said during a rare one-on-one. "Harder because your struggle is on display, easier because the whole world is rooting for you." Support didn't stop with the captains, crew members also offered their own support. These simple gestures reminded Bill that no matter how tough the sea or the treatment, he wasn't fighting alone. As Bill Wichrowski continued his fight with cancer, fans of Deadliest Catch got a closer look at what modern cancer treatment really involves behind the scenes. His medical journey revealed both the tough parts of dealing with cancer and the remarkable new ways doctors are helping patients today. There are now several methods to treat prostate cancer that weren't available 10 years ago. Bill's doctors use some of the latest treatments, including radioactive seed implantation, a procedure that delivers radiation directly to the cancer without harming much of the surrounding healthy tissue. In a Facebook post, Bill shared that he was undergoing both radioactive seeds and hormone therapy. While the radiation wasn't too bad, the hormone therapy was a different story. It lowered his testosterone to nearly zero, a treatment meant to stop the cancer, but it made him feel tired, weak, and not quite like himself. Bill stayed honest with his fans throughout the process. "Numbers are great, not complaining, just sharing," he said. However, he admitted that losing his usual strength and energy was tough. "I have always felt 10 to 15 years younger than my age. The job I have and being around crew half my age feels like the clock has caught up. Maybe a small price to pay." Even while sharing the hard parts, Bill used his experience to help others, reminding his fans to get checked if they had any symptoms. This simple message resonated deeply, and many people replied with thanks, support, and stories of their own. While going through treatment, Bill still spent time at the ports, working on the summer bay and meeting with other captains. He didn't want cancer to change who he was still a fisherman, just one who happened to be fighting a serious illness. One of the hardest parts of fighting cancer comes after the treatment ends, the long, anxious wait to see if the treatment worked. For Bill, this phase showed his strength as well as his fears. Doctors don't typically say a patient is cured of cancer. Instead, they talk about how the body is responding or if the patient is in remission. For someone like Bill, who was used to clear results like catching a crab or not, this kind of uncertainty was difficult to deal with. On the Bering Sea, outcomes are black and white, but cancer isn't like that. After his treatments, Bill had to go in for regular checkups and blood tests to monitor his PSA levels, which help indicate if prostate cancer is coming back. Though these visits were private, Bill occasionally shared short updates with his fans online: "Results looking good, heave right," or "Another test down, numbers heading in the right direction." His words were short, but they showed a man staying strong and hopeful, someone who knew cancer was a long journey, not a quick fix. During this time, Bill made a choice to keep working as much as he could. He stayed busy on the summer bay and appeared in new episodes whenever his health allowed. Fishing wasn't just a job, it helped him mentally and emotionally, as Bill himself put it. "Being on the water is where I make sense," he told one of his crew members during a quiet moment. "Out here, I'm not a patient, I'm still just the captain." This statement reflected how much it meant to Bill to hold on to who he was beyond being someone with cancer. Behind the scenes, the TV crew and network worked around his doctor visits and ensured he could take breaks if he wasn't feeling well. This flexibility helped Bill stay involved with the show he loved while putting his health first. Over time, Bill's updates became more hopeful. Each test showed that the treatments were working. What began as a scary diagnosis started turning into a powerful story of hope, strength, and healing. Everything changed for Bill Wichrowski during what was supposed to be just another routine doctor's visit. But what happened in that exam room became a turning point, one that brought new hope to his family, crew, and fans around the world. For months, Bill's doctors had maintained a cautiously optimistic outlook. Although his test results continued to improve, they remained reserved, avoiding any premature assurances. Then, one day, that cautious look became much more certain. "I seem to be cancer-free now," Bill shared in an update that quickly spread across the Deadliest Catch community. These few words meant everything. After months of tests, treatments, and uncertainty, Bill had finally reached the moment every cancer patient hopes for: a clean bill of health. What happened next showed just how much support Bill had all along. Messages came flooding in from fellow captains, current and former crew members, and thousands of fans. Many thanked him for sharing his journey and promised to keep him in their thoughts and prayers. Even though the news was good, Bill knew his journey wasn't over. Prostate cancer can come back, so he would still need regular checkups. But now, he could move forward with a sense of peace and look ahead to doing what he loved most, captaining the summer bay through the wild waters of the Bering Sea. In a rare show of unity, captains from different boats gathered at a bar in Dutch Harbor to raise a glass to Wild Bill's strength. Sig Hansen, Jake Anderson, and Josh Harris were all there to honor Bill. Sig, unusually emotional, said, "Tougher than the Bering Sea itself," and the cheer that followed said it all. This wasn't just about fishing, it was about respect for a man who had faced a serious fight and come through stronger. As season 20 of Deadliest Catch came to an end, fans realized they had witnessed more than just another fishing season. They had seen the victorious chapter of a man who had braved one of life's biggest storms and come out the other side stronger than ever. Life after cancer. Today, Bill Wichrowski is living with the same strength and energy he always had, but now, he appreciates each day a little more. What changed him wasn't just beating cancer, it was the new outlook he gained after facing such a serious challenge. Surviving something life-threatening often helps people see what truly matters. For Bill, this became real. The way he handles fishing and his relationships has changed, guided by the lessons he learned while fighting cancer. "When I first found out," Bill said, "I told myself, I'm not stopping. I'll keep going until I physically can't." A lot of people shut down after a diagnosis like this, but that only makes things worse. This attitude, meeting problems head-on instead of hiding from them, has always been part of who Bill is, but after cancer, it became something he chose to do more purposefully. The battle didn't weaken him, it made him more focused on living fully every day. Bill still keeps up with his doctor visits and watches his health closely, but he's back doing what he loves, captaining Summer Bay through the tough, icy waters of the Bering Sea. Season after season, he proves that life after cancer doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. Fans have also seen another side of Bill, his commitment to spreading awareness about prostate cancer. He often encourages men to get checked if they notice symptoms, because early detection helps save his life. His honesty has likely helped many others take action in time. His relationships with fellow captains have grown deeper, too. Even though they still compete for crab, there's more respect between them now. What they went through during Bill's illness brought them closer. Sig Hansen, one of his strongest rivals in the past, now checks in often. "How are those numbers looking?" he'll ask. It may sound tough, but the care behind it is real. Jake Anderson, who has learned a lot from Bill, often turns to him for advice about fishing and life. Josh Harris, who has felt lost in their tight-knit fishing world, is grateful for every season they get to work beside Wild Bill. Bill's crew also stands by him in a special way. Their loyalty comes from watching him fight and lead at the same time. They've seen his strength up close. "There was a time we thought we were going to lose him," one crew member said. "Not just to cancer, but to the struggle itself." Sometimes, people fade away when they're battling something so big, but not Bill. He stayed our captain. He stayed with Wild Bill. Even on his hardest days, Bill never stopped being himself. Cancer didn't change who he was, it just showed how strong he's always been. As Deadliest Catch continues filming new seasons, Bill remains a favorite. His story, from fearless captain to cancer fighter to inspiration, has added a whole new side to the man fans know as Wild Bill. What happened to him wasn't the end, it was another powerful chapter in a story of strength, heart, and the will to keep going. Bill Wichrowski faced prostate cancer and came out stronger. He returned to the sea he loves and inspired thousands with his story. His journey shows that we can get through even the biggest storms life brings with the right care, determination, and support. Have you or someone you know faced a battle like Wild Bill's? How has the journey inspired you? We'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more inspiring stories, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next time.